Welcome back to Record Rift, where we rip through history's pages to reveal the moments that reshaped our world. Today, we're stepping into the smoke-filled streets of London in 1666, where a spark in a bakery unleashed a great fire, a blaze that devoured a city and birthed a new era. Picture medieval London. Wooden houses packed tight, bustling with merchants and plagued by disease, engulfed in flames for 4 days. This wasn't just a disaster. It was a crucible that transformed one of the world's great cities. What sparked this inferno? How did Londoners survive, and what rose from the ashes? Join us as we explore the Great Fire of London, a story of destruction, resilience, and rebirth. Let's ignite this journey. Here we go. In 1666, London was a thriving yet vulnerable metropolis, home to 500,000 people and the heart of England's trade and politics. Its narrow streets, lined with timber-framed houses and thatched roofs, were a tinderbox waiting for a spark. The city had just endured the Great Plague of 1665, which killed 100,000, nearly a fifth of its population, leaving survivors weary and superstitious. England was also at war with the Dutch, straining resources and fueling fears of foreign sabotage. The summer of 1666 brought a scorching drought, drying the city's wooden structures to kindling. On September 2, 1666, disaster struck. In the early hours, a small fire broke out at Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane. A stray ember from his oven, left unattended, ignited the shop. Strong winds and dry conditions fanned the flames, which quickly spread to nearby homes. London's firefighting was rudimentary. Leather buckets and hand-pumped squirts were no match for the blaze. By dawn, the fire was a roaring beast, and the city's fate hung in the balance. The stage was set for a catastrophe that would test London's spirit. The Great Fire raged from September 2nd to September 5th, consuming London with terrifying speed. By Sunday morning, flames leapt from house to house, driven by an east wind. Panicked residents fled, carrying belongings in carts or boats on the Thames. The fire's heat melted lead roofs, and explosions from stored gunpowder added to the chaos. Samuel Pepys, a naval official and diarist, captured the scene vividly, describing a most horrid, malicious, bloody flame as he rode the Thames. He alerted King Charles II, who ordered buildings demolished to create fire breaks, but the efforts were too slow. By Monday, the fire engulfed St. Paul's Cathedral, its wooden scaffolding fueling a spectacular blaze that collapsed its medieval stonework. The Tower of London narrowly escaped, saved by gunpowder blasts to clear a fire break. Over 13,200 houses, 87 churches, and key buildings like the Guildhall burned, leaving 80% of the city in ashes. Miraculously, fewer than 10 deaths were recorded, though thousands were displaced. Refugees camped in fields, their city reduced to smoldering rubble. The fire's speed and scale stunned Europe, with rumors of French or Dutch arsonists spreading panic. When the flames died on September 5th, London was unrecognizable. An estimated 100,000 people, 1 in 5 Londoners, were homeless, camping in makeshift shelters around Moorfields and Southwark. The economic toll was staggering. £10 million in damages, equivalent to billions today, wiped out homes, businesses, and infrastructure. The loss of St. Paul's and other churches shook the city's spiritual core, while the destruction of markets and warehouses crippled trade. King Charles II, fearing unrest, promised aid and ordered supplies, but recovery seemed daunting. Blaming foreigners, mobs attacked French and Dutch immigrants, though investigations pinned the fire on Farriner's bakery, likely an accident. Samuel Pepys and others documented the despair, but also the resilience, as Londoners began salvaging what they could. The disaster exposed the city's vulnerabilities: poor planning, flammable construction, and weak firefighting. Yet, it also sparked a vision for renewal. Within days, architects like Christopher Wren and scientists like Robert Hooke submitted plans for a rebuilt London, dreaming of wide boulevards and stone buildings to replace the medieval maze. The Great Fire birthed a new London. King Charles II rejected radical plans for a grid-like city due to property disputes and cost, but rebuilding was swift. By 1671, over 6,000 homes rose, many in brick and stone to prevent future fires. Christopher Wren's masterpiece, the new St. Paul's Cathedral, with its iconic dome, became a symbol of London's revival, completed in 1710. Wren designed 51 new churches, blending Baroque elegance with practicality. New regulations mandated wider streets and fire-resistant materials, shaping modern London's layout. The fire spurred economic and social changes. Insurance companies like the Fire Office emerged to protect property, laying the groundwork for modern insurance. Trade recovered as merchants rebuilt markets, and the Port of London grew busier. The fire also weakened the old feudal order, empowering merchants and the middle class. By the 1680s, London was thriving again, its population rebounding and its status as a global hub cemented. The disaster, though devastating, modernized the city, aligning it with Europe's emerging urban centers. The Great Fire of London was a defining moment, a catastrophe that sparked transformation. It modernized urban planning, with fire safety laws and stone construction setting a model for cities worldwide. St. Paul's Cathedral and Wren's churches remain landmarks, testaments to resilience and artistry. The fire's economic innovations, like insurance, reshaped commerce, while its social shift empowered new classes, paving the way for England's 18th century growth. Culturally, the fire lives in literature, from Pepys's diaries to Daniel Defoe's accounts, capturing a city's soul tested by flames. It also marked a shift from medieval to modern, as London rose as a global capital. The fire's lessons, resilience, adaptation, and planning, echo in disaster response today. It reminds us that even the worst calamities can forge something stronger, a city reborn from ashes that still stands as a beacon of endurance. That's the blazing saga of the Great Fire of London, a tale of destruction and defiant rebirth. What do you think? Could London have rebuilt so fast without the fire's wake-up call? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and tell us what historical disaster you want us to explore next on Record Rift. If this journey through 1,660 SXS flames gripped you, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to join our quest through history. Until next time, keep uncovering the rifts that shape our past. This is Record Rift, signing off.